I'm not saying that we need to completely, as a culture, do a 180 on how we view creativity. You know, when we were kids, we used to draw stuff and make stuff, and there was no other reward other than it was satisfying. As you can see, I'm filming in a very uncontrolled environment today. What I'm doing today is something that I almost never do, which is filming without a script, just riffing off the top of the dome. Just gonna go straight thoughts and hopefully it doesn't start raining on us. All right, my fiance told me the other day that I try way too hard to make my videos good, and she's right. I get way too wrapped up in, is the color correct? Is the exposure a little too much? Do I sound perfectly like I was recorded in some podcast studio? Does it make sense? Blah, 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 blah. Everything's got to be cinematic and perfect and whatever. And that's all great. I love that stuff. That's the style that I'm really drawn to. But she was absolutely right. And I'm partially making this video so that in the future, if I ever get accused of you don't listen to me, I can throw this video up and be like, I do listen to you actually, and the words you say actually stick with me. Anyways, that's for later. But she's right. I try way too hard to make my videos good, and then, truth be told, I get disappointed when I don't feel like I get the right. How do I say this?
Today, Junior?
Because you put a certain level of work into a video, and this is true across any creative platform you're, working with. You put a lot of work in, but that work that gets put in, you're the only one seeing it usually. Other people don't know why you care so much about a project, and then when they don't care as much as you want them to care, that feels like you're taking it out, that feels like you're doing something wrong creatively. And I'm rambling all this, and I'm just gonna get to the point. The point of this video is creativity is supposed to be a playground and not a factory. I feel like I woke up one day and every commercial for creative software was all about optimizing your workflow and create 3 times more videos in half the time. Everything is about quantity. Everything is about doing things a little bit faster, how to cut a corner a little better. And I think it just shows the priorities of our culture right now when it comes to creativity. The way we talk about creativity is the way that factory workers talk about the things that they make, Everything's about, how can I do this in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress and get the most return for the least investment. The key to growing as a creator nowadays is volume. More volume equals more views equals more growth equals more revenue. That's how the formula is supposed to go, at least. And in that whole process, we've gotten away from we've forgotten that creativity is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be all about experimentation. It's supposed to be about getting lost in the process and discovering something in that process. I'm not saying that we need to completely, as a culture, do a 180 on how we view creativity, because obviously that's never going to happen. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's easy to get swept up in all of what I just talked about. You know, putting optimization above everything else in the creative process and forgetting that, you know, when we were kids, we used to draw stuff and make stuff not because we wanted to impress people or because we wanted to get views and likes, but because we just wanted to do it. It felt right and it was satisfying, and there was no other reward other than it was satisfying. I don't know if any of that is going to make sense, but yeah, that's the video. Remember that creativity is a playground, not a factory. Don't forget to have fun.